Now at 9, Oklahoma Highway Patrol investigates a crash that killed a pedestrian. Plus, we'll learn about some of the items slated to be on the ballots in Missouri and Kansas next month. And Pitt State hosts a robotics camp for students interested in a future STEM career.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Oklahoma Highway Patrol responds to a crash on I-44 involving a pedestrian. The crash happened around 4 this morning in Ottawa County. Troopers responded to the report of a man lying in the inside lane of the westbound traffic. The report goes on to say 2 vehicles struck the man. The victim has been identified as 63-year-old Edward Parker of Cuba, Missouri. He died at the scene. Newton County, Missouri authorities charge a man in a fatal hit and run from Friday night. Witnesses say a Dodge Dakota driven by this man, Richard Taylor of Racine, Missouri, went off the road and struck the victim, Sheldona Wood of Joplin. A bolo was issued for the truck after it left the scene. Newton County prosecutors have issued a number of charges against Taylor, including felony DWI, death of another person, and felony leaving the scene of an accident. An appellate court ends the criminal case against a Northeast Oklahoma prison drug lord's former defense attorney. Today, the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals dismissed the state's final appeal in the legal battle with Winston Connor, a prominent criminal defense attorney based out of Jay, Oklahoma. Now, this ruling brings an end to a case that began in November of 2018 when Connor was indicted on 10 charges, including racketeering, assault with a dangerous weapon, pandering, witness intimidation, distribution of controlled substances, and illegal communication with an inmate, the notorious Oklahoma drug lord Slint Tate. In 2018, a federal judge tacked on 20 years to Connor's former client's life sentence for operating a multi-state drug ring from prison, a drug ring that allegedly netted sales of up to $1 million a week. You can read more about both cases on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, we've been tracking showers and thunderstorms across the region throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. Now, prior to the rain, we did warm to 88, average high is 90, record high 101, set back in 1980. And rainfall today at the airport in Joplin, over 2 inches for the month. Of course, that is higher. We still have a little bit of a deficit, but today's rain definitely helped across the region. Temperatures pretty comfortable, sitting 70 to about 75 degrees. All the heavy rain that we had earlier along the I-44 corridor is pretty much gone, but we still have some moderate rain out across our western counties, and then just kind of splashes. There's splashes of very light rain along and south of I-44. Still going to have on and off showers, mainly on the Missouri side tonight into tomorrow morning, and then all this will slowly rotate out of here as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Then we heat up. We're going to talk about that here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. And with the holiday weekend behind us, the countdown is on to the August 6th primary. And in Missouri, mail-in voting is already underway. Now, ballots in Missouri will include 2 proposed amendments to the state constitution. Amendment 1 would make places that provide childcare outside of home exempt from property taxes. It's not clear how much that could impact local tax revenues. Amendment number 4 would allow the state legislature to require a city to increase the minimum funding for a police force established by State Board of Police Commissioners. This specifically would impact Kansas City's police force, which is the only police department governed at the state level. Kansas has no amendments on the ballot, but a number of candidates who want your vote for the U.S. congressional seat in the 2nd District. 5 Republicans and 2 Democrats are competing for their party's nomination, and we interviewed all 7 of those candidates covering such topics as immigration, inflation, and abortion. You can see those interviews unedited on our website. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com/elections. Well, some area voters will choose nominees for county assessor on August 6th. KOAM's Amber Jenkins examines what that position entails.
Lisa Perry is the current Jasper County assessor and the only candidate running for the role on the August 6th ballot. Perry has held the elected position since 2019. According to her, an assessor only sets the value of property for the tax bill, which is sent to the collector's office for payment. The assessor's office abides by the state statutes and is held accountable by the Missouri State Tax Commission.
For personal property, we assess all personal properties, boats, trailers, motorcycles, cars, farm machinery, livestock, and those values are set from the valuing guide.
Every Monday leading up to the August 6th election, we'll learn more about the elected positions on the ballot. Next week, we'll learn more about the role of a county coroner.
Thank you, Amber. The city of Joplin throws a financial lifeline to future homeowners. The Joplin Homebuyers Assistance Program, or JHAP-2, offers funds up to $40,000 per household. To qualify for the funds, potential homeowners must purchase a home within the city of Joplin, be a Joplin citizen, and annual income cannot exceed more than $93,000 a year. Today marked the first of 3 grant-funded housing programs launched by the city this year to strengthen neighborhoods and boost investment.
Well, it's always wise to invest in your citizens. They're the ones that we support. They're the ones who elected me to run on the city council and to become the mayor. So we want to turn right around and invest in those citizens and help them achieve the American dream.
The first round of JHAP launched after the 2011 tornado. The program will remain open as funding is available or until the application deadline closes in early 2026. Well, technology is increasingly important in this digital world, and today students at Pitt State's robotics camp got to hone their robotics skills. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
We try to innovate ways to actually make this fun and exciting for them. A big part of it is the fact that since we use the Lego platform, that does help the kids interact with it pretty well on that.
Pitt State's Summer Robotics Camp is introducing middle school students to STEM at an early age. The students not only get to have fun and be creative, but learn valuable skills for their future.
Doing basic robotics to do kind of fun tasks, but we try to help them be able to figure out how these skills will engage beyond the classroom into their lives as they go on.
The 5-day program is a series of hands-on workshops held at a lab.
It's hands-on. Like, you get to build and build and build, and you get to meet new friends in it.
It costs $115 to attend the camp, where kids will learn programming, robotics, and electromechanics, skills that some kids don't get to learn until they get to college.
The students here are being able to get sort of a head start towards moving on to different areas. We have a lot of kids who, once they've gone through our program, they'll go on and they'll do different robotics clubs in their middle school, high school, or even into the college levels.
Phillips says having a head start on learning robotics will have a huge impact on the students' future careers.
If this had been available back when I was a kid, back in the 80s, I definitely would have done this.
Phillips says his hope for the program is to spark an early passion for STEM. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The robotics camp will conclude on Friday with a robotics competition. Well, coming up, the stress of election season.
America is in the middle of a mental health crisis, and a new survey indicates the election isn't helping things. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have all the details coming up.
America is in the middle of a mental health crisis, and according to a recent study, the election is not helping. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seri tells us who may be most impacted ahead of November.
I do feel a little anxious. I will say, everyone is very concerned about, their futures.
I'm not stressed about it because I have hope in the American people.
Honestly, it makes me feel a little anxious about how my future is going to look, especially as a woman.
A new study by Myriad Genetics released 2 days before the first debate shows 2 in 5 Americans report feeling depressed or anxious about the upcoming presidential election.
The brain resists change. So even if the election is a good thing, if the change is a positive thing, it's still the fear of change.
The results also reveal members of the LGBTQ+ community are more likely to feel anxious about the election compared to the general public. Gen Z and millennials are more likely to feel depressed about it compared to Gen X and baby boomers, and a third of those already diagnosed with anxiety or depression feel the election is making their symptoms worse. Psychiatry specialist Dr. Thomas Valenti says the emotions are stirred up by the unknown.
People worry, how is it going to affect me? That's a natural fear. But then, is it going to affect me financially? Is it going to affect me in terms of my health care, my access to care, cost of medications?
With election coverage saturating TV and social media, it becomes difficult to escape. Dr. Valenti says if it's causing negative thoughts and feelings, shut it off and try to avoid it.
Meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, aromatherapy, art, all of these can be beneficial. And when none of that is working, talk to your friends, family, talk to your healthcare provider, seek treatment, talk about your fears, get it out of you rather than letting it sit inside you.
For most, he says, the uncomfortable emotions are only temporary.
November will come, November will pass, the inauguration will happen, life goes on. Put it into context. It's not the end of the world, right? I think sometimes our fears get exaggerated, our mind runs uncontrolled, and then we end up in a dark place.
But if those feelings don't go away,
don't be afraid, seek help. Solutions are always possible.
Dr. Valenti advises people to seek professional help if the stress and anxiety begin affecting your physical health, your work, or your family life. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Well, a new study finds women exposed to fine particulate matter in the air prior to beginning in vitro fertilization were nearly 40% less likely to give birth. Australian researchers conducted the first of its kind study to analyze the effects of pollution on all stages of IVF. They found women exposed to pollution 3 months and also 2 weeks before egg retrieval had lower birth rates. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a Field Kinley High School football standout announces his commitment to play at the Division I level.
Well, of course, we got some showers. We got some thunderstorms for a good chunk of us this afternoon into the evening hours. Some areas picked up some very heavy amounts of rain. Not a whole bunch going on out there right now. You can't see on our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. The roads are still a little bit wet, so be careful. And we're still going to get some kind of hit and miss showers as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But the heaviest rain that was lined up along the I-44 corridor has pretty much dissipated. We still have some moderate showers out across southeastern parts of Kansas. But this is all due to what once was Hurricane Beryl, which rotated and actually made landfall this morning, very early this morning, right to the west of Houston. So Houston got the very strong winds, and you can see the circulation. It kind of lost its eye once it got up into eastern Texas. And then that circulation now is all the way up into southern parts of Arkansas. So you can see here's Texarkana, and then the bands around it, you get severe weather. And of course, we have been getting some of those outer bands giving us those showers and thunderstorms earlier today. Heaviest rain's over, but we are still going to get some rain tonight, mainly southwestern Missouri, kind of Joplin points east as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But you can see all this heavy amounts of rain is really going to push in the south central parts of Missouri. Look at the rainfall amounts. Some areas, nothing. You get to Pittsburgh, nothing. And then some areas, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches fell in Jasper County. So a lot of areas picked up some very heavy amounts of rain. Let's go through time. Here's midnight. Along and south of I-44, still light showers. Light showers continue through the overnight hours, really Joplin down to Table Rock. Still light showers on the Missouri side. Here's 5:30 in the morning, and then slowly kind of rotating out of here as we go through the morning hours. So we are going to start the day a little bit on the wet side. Additional rainfall, not super heavy. Again, it's mainly going to be on the Missouri side, but you know, 1/10 of an inch, 2/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch once you get over toward Monette and also Cassville. Temperatures feel pretty good. Most of us are sitting near 70. We can go outside, 7th range line east. Northeasterly winds are light at about 5 to 10. And then we'll have the clouds through the morning hours, sunshine during the afternoon. We could still get a spotty shower behind it, but temperature is great. Most of us will go about 82 for an afternoon high. Tomorrow night, nice and calm, drop back into lower 60s. And then once we get into Wednesday afternoon, temperatures start to heat back up just a little bit. High temps near 90 on Wednesday. A little weak wave is going to roll in late Wednesday into Thursday that may fire off a shower or two, but that would be just about it. 68 start, 78 by noon. High temp, 82 for us tomorrow, but 90 on Wednesday, 94 Thursday, 96s Friday and Saturday, and then we hang out near that wonderful triple-digit mark all next week.
Enjoy the 90s while they last.
Oh, tomorrow 82 is going to be really nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah. Well, I know when it'll finally dry up enough in my yard to mow.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's still a little swampy from
well,
last
after
week.
Today, yeah.
And today. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, some kids in Joplin enjoyed the great outdoors today while learning about nature. The Wildcat Glades Nature Group hosted its second annual Camp Wildcat, and we sent photojournalist Ty Parks to check it all out.
At the word, and you'll beat the drum. Round up the truth.
So Camp Wildcat is a camp that we do. This is our second annual for kids ages 7 to 14. This year they are learning all about rocks, they're learning about fishing skills, they're learning about park life and how to hike and enjoy nature. It's really important to connect kids to nature, and it's also important for them to get good outdoor skills. We also just want kids to learn about the park and enjoy it as well.
But I put my hand on that, all the stuff came on it.
You will survive. So they are learning about how to fish, they're learning about how to hike responsibly, how to be in nature, and how to respect nature. They are learning lots of different outdoor skills out here. Be thinking about what you're hearing, okay? Imagine that you're a bunny rabbit, right? And you're trying to listen for danger. You might be listening for your babies or something like that, okay? All right, so 3, 2, 1. I hope they take away from here that nature is not someplace else, that they can find nature in their own backyards, and the thing that they see out here at Wildcat Park, they could probably also find similar things in their yard, and a respect and a love for nature. Awesome. What about for you?
I heard cicadas, birds, and people moving in cars and leaves falling.
Very, very good. Okay.
Observant young man there. The camp runs through Wednesday, but required pre-registration. Coming up, a busy weekend to get around.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Americans enjoyed the 4th of July holiday weekend with record-setting travel numbers. I'm Connor Hansen with more details coming up.
Boeing is paying a fine to avoid prosecution. That's according to a Justice Department court filing. It says the aircraft maker has agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy to defraud the U.S. That charge stems from 2018 and 19 crashes in which 346 people died. The document lists the fine as up to $487 million. If you just returned from a 4th of July trip, you were far from alone. Yesterday was one of the busiest travel days of the year. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
All around the country, airports in places like New York, California, Dallas, and Detroit saw long lines and crowds of people flying for the 4th of July.
The lines were so long, I've never seen Long Beach like that, actually.
We had a delay, but other than that, everything went smooth. I was actually pretty impressed with Newark Airport. Usually it's not that smooth.
TSA screened more than 3 million people traveling home from their holiday destinations Sunday, and tens of millions drove more than 50 miles during the 4th of July weekend. The agency says it has already been a record-breaking summer with a significant increase in travelers from last year and from before the pandemic.
Long security lines, a lot of people in each terminal.
Woke up pretty early. I set an alarm for 5:30 a.m. even though our plane left at 9:30, but it was pretty easy.
AAA says we're seeing a longer holiday travel season.
You've got a lot of folks with increased flexibility, maybe to work a hybrid schedule or work remote around holidays, so they're able to travel longer.
And busy airports will likely mean big profits for major airlines like Delta, which is expecting to bring in $1 billion more in sales than it did this time last year. According to the website Hopper, the price of flights this 4th of July week was down 18% from last year, averaging around $263 per ticket. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, a big shakeup in the entertainment industry. In a landmark deal, storied movie studio Paramount is agreeing to merge with Skydance Media. The agreement is worth $4.7 billion. Now, Skydance and Paramount already have had a long partnership producing some of the industry's biggest blockbusters, including Top Gun and Mission Impossible franchises. Up next, we'll learn how one artist is celebrating the upcoming Paris Olympics by carving a monument into the countryside. The Eiffel Tower is carved into a crop field in Italy to celebrate the upcoming Paris Olympic Games. Italian land artist Dario Gambarin created his latest work in the Verona countryside with a plow and a tractor. It covers a 2-acre plot. He says the art is a dedication for peace and hopes that sports will unite people all over the world. Gambarin uses a highly skilled technique that allows him to create proportionate images without measuring the field before his work. Pretty cool. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. We'll learn about a new job center coming to Southwest Missouri, plus an investigation into a possible illegal sewage dump by a Southwest Missouri Public Works Department.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Springfield's Missouri Job Center could soon have a new home. Joe Hickman looks at the reason the city is considering the move.
Currently undergoing an exterior facelift at its longtime home in a strip mall in South Springfield, the Missouri Job Center may be looking quite different within the next year, as tonight the Springfield City Council will consider buying this 3-story building and parking lot as the center's new home in the central part of town between Division and Commercial Streets. Built in 1962 with several tenants, including a bank and Convoy of Hope, funding and negotiations for the building have already been completed at a $3.9 million sale price, with only the council's approval needed to start a $2.6 million renovation. As for the reason behind the move, officials say the centralized location is better for one of the main groups the job center serves, low-income people who need a job as well as other governmental services.
At our location on Sunshine, often grant participants were having to travel 2+ hours each way to get to our location. This will provide a centralized location for those reliant on bus transportation.
The current location for the Missouri Job Center is leased, and so the city considering acquiring a property will be more affordable in the long run, actually freeing up dollars that could go to other programs to help benefit the community.
The move has not come without controversy, though. While the city oversees the federal dollars allocated to each state, other organizations are involved in the different grant money decisions, and 2 of those groups, the Ozarks Region Workforce Development Board, which oversees 7 counties, and the Council of Local Elected Officials, known as CLEO, have expressed concerns with the short notice of the move, as well as the future of a long-term relationship with the city as the grant fund manager.
The issue that was identified at council was wanting increased communication, so the City of Springfield and the Ozark Region Workforce Development Board are working together to ensure that moving forward we have a stronger relationship and that each entity receives the communication desired.
Well, some people living in Forsyth, Missouri say sewage is spilling over into their neighborhood. One woman claims the city is not doing anything about it, but city leaders say they are addressing the problem. Becky Sanders says it all started back in April of 2023. One day, while taking a moment to relax on her deck, she says the foul odor of sewage would fill the air. As the smell worsened, she called City Hall. And Sanders believes the stench is caused by improper maintenance to this lift station located behind her home.
Our drains have a horrible smell to them. Sometimes when we turn on our water, you get just a blast of sewage smell. And this has been an ongoing problem. Our lift station that the city has on our property has leaked sewage 6 times now.
We have a constituent issue here that the guys have been working on for some time. They have incrementally tried to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We take constituent requests very seriously, and we're going to respond to them.
Now, inspectors say crews were out working today to try to find the exact issues and resolve it. A bit later, Hurricane Beryl hits Texas, leaving many without power and a line of damage.
Well, of course, it turned out to be kind of a warm day, and then we got showers and thunderstorms across the region. Temperatures cooled down. We still have some light showers out there right now, but not looking too bad. Our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam, which is at 7th and Joplin Street. All right, you can still see some showers, a couple little rumbles of thunder across southeastern Kansas, but all the heavy rain that we had earlier along the I-44 corridor has pretty much fizzled apart. And again, this is all due to the remnants of what once was Hurricane Beryl, which moved right on in this morning, really made landfall just to the west of Houston. And of course, the feeder bands around it, those are the ones that produce kind of the severe weather, some tornadoes, which have been very evident throughout the daytime hours for us today. We're on that northern edge. We don't have to really worry about severe weather, but we did see some heavy amounts of rain dropping earlier today, and we still have some light showers out there, but that is really just about it. Just a few little bigger showers once you get out across southeastern Kansas. Most of this moisture is going to push south central parts of Missouri, but still we're going to get some additional showers later on tonight. Look at the rainfall amounts. Once you hit Pittsburgh, Lamar, nothing. West of Columbus, and then you get ½ an inch to an inch, upwards to 4 or 5 inches in segments of Jasper County, northern parts of Newton County. All right, light showers continue southwestern Missouri through the overnight hours for us tonight. Hit and miss, especially east of Joplin. As we get into the morning hours, still showers ongoing in our eastern counties, and then all this will start to rotate out as we go through the morning hours. But if you live in southwestern Missouri, your day is going to start off a little bit on the wet side. Rainfall amounts additional, not a whole bunch, unless you get down across parts of Berry County where the rainfall is going to be a little bit more persistent. Temperature is not bad, upper 60s to lower 70s right now. Going outside, here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 70 east. Northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10. Of course, some showers in the morning, clouds. We could have a hit or miss shower as we get into the afternoon, but mainly just kind of drying out. Temperature is not bad. Most of us into the lower 80s. Tomorrow night looks good. We slide back, lower 60s for overnight lows, and then Wednesday we start to heat things up just a little bit more. High temps are going to be topping out near 90 degrees, and then we continue that trend upward as we head toward the weekend. 68 start, 78 by noon, high temp of 82 degrees. And if we look late this week, look at this, mid to upper 90s by Friday. Much of the same Saturday, high temps about 96, and then on Sunday, then we start approaching 100 degrees by the time we get into Sunday afternoon. So it really does heat up, especially as we head toward the weekend. 82 tomorrow, 90 on Wednesday, 94 Thursday, 96 is Friday and Saturday, and then near 100 most of next week.
I guess we can be thankful for the rain tomorrow as it brings us that cool down for
Yeah,
sure. We're going to need it.
Need any rain we can get.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Grove Public Library gave patrons a place to cool off and a cool place to take in a movie. Kids of all ages could hit the library today for a Monday matinee. The fun-filled family experience even came with free complimentary popcorn and cold bottles of water.
We do a variety of programs for families, arts and crafts, STEM programs. We bring in presenters that do magic shows and animals, you name it.
Well, today's movie was Wish. The program runs every Monday in July. Well, coming up in sports, the St. Louis Cardinals take on the Nationals in our nation's capital. Plus, a high school football standout commits to play in the SEC. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Field Kindley High School senior Keaton Jones had offers to play college football essentially anywhere in the country he wanted to. Alabama, USC, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and a lot more. Well, yesterday, Jones made his college decision. He'll be staying somewhat close to home. The 6'4", 315-pound offensive lineman announces on social media he's committing to Mizzou. Jones is a composite 3-star recruit. According to the recruiting website 24/7 Sports, he's the 7th best player in the class of 2025 in the entire state of Kansas and the 35th ranked interior offensive lineman in the country. Well, the summer collegiate baseball season rolls along in the 4 states. Up in Nevada, the Griffins have only 2 weeks and 13 games remaining in their 2024 campaign. Tonight, Nevada at home against St. Joseph, who's in first place in the Mink League. Most recent check of that score, the Griffins trail 8-4 in the 9th inning. Now, the Griffins led for the first few innings, but haven't been able to recover from allowing 4 runs to score in the 5th. Nevada back at home for a doubleheader tomorrow. Switching gears to Major League Baseball this week, the final stretch before the All-Star break. We're more than halfway through the 162-game regular season. First half has been up and down for the Cardinals, but right now they're in playoff position. Cardinals on the road today in D.C. taking on the Nationals. In the first inning, C.J. Abrams drives one deep to the gap, but Michael Ciani makes the catch, crashing into the wall. Great effort by him to rob Abrams of an extra base hit. Next inning, no score. Brendan Donovan hits a liner to left. This time, though, Washington makes a great play in the field. James Wood with the diving catch. That keeps it scoreless. We go to the very next half inning. Juan Yepez hits a deep fly ball to the very similar spot in right center. And check this out. Ciani there again with a leaping catch as he crashes into the wall, making almost an identical catch in both the first and second innings. We go ahead to the 4th. Cardinals up 1-0 at this point. Paul Goldschmidt goes deep to left, this time leaving no room for a diving catch. His 12th home run of the year puts St. Louis on top 2-0. 8th inning now, same score. Alec Burleson crushes one to deep right off Jacob Barnes. That's a solo home run. Cardinals lead 3-0 later in the inning. Donovan lines one to center. Jacob Young can't make the diving catch. Ball's going to roll all the way to the wall. Cardinals run away with it. They win 6-0 on the road in D.C. That's it for sports. Back after this.
Hurricane Beryl continues to weaken as it moves further inland, but the storm is still producing damaging hurricane-force wind gusts. Officials say Beryl has caused at least 2 deaths. Fox's Kevin Uretsky has the latest.
We're experiencing right now the dirty side of a dirty hurricane.
More than 1 million customers in the Houston area are dealing with electrical power issues after Hurricane Beryl made impact. Landfall was reportedly at Matagorda, roughly 100 miles south of Galveston. The storm is moving inland, but risks of hurricane-strength wind and coastal storm surge persist. A monitoring station in Freeport recorded wind gusts at 94 miles an hour. Forecasts say rain in some spots could total 15 inches. Beryl has left a mess along a stretch of the Texas Gulf Coast and in inland urban areas such as Houston. The mayor of Houston says the city was prepared, but urged people to shelter in place.
We're in an emergency. We're in a rescue mode. We're literally getting calls across Houston right now asking for first responders to come rescue individuals in desperate life safety conditions.
Houston police said the department had already saved 8 people trapped in high waters as of noon on Monday. Much of East Texas could see 5 to 10 inches of rain, with localized amounts of up to 15 inches by the time Beryl moves out.
All we need to worry about right now is protecting lives. The White House has reached out to us offering assistance, so it's all hands on deck.
Texas was Beryl's 3rd and final landfall before the storm is expected to deteriorate as it moves northward through the U.S. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Well, coming up, we'll check out the new entertainment options for you to enjoy at home this week. A dystopian action drama, a post-apocalyptic action sci-fi And a country music star among the new digital, DVD, and music releases available to add to your home library. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin runs down the list of what's new in home entertainment.
The dystopian action drama Civil War tops this week's list of what's new in home entertainment. Kirsten Dunst, Wagner Moura, and Kaylee Spaney star as frontline journalists covering a conflict in the United States, trying to make their way to Washington, D.C. Zendaya stars in the sports drama Challengers, playing a tennis prodigy turned coach who convinces her husband to enter a tournament where he faces off against her ex-boyfriend and his ex-best friend. The post-apocalyptic action sci-fi Boy Kills World follows Bill Skarsgård on a revenge-fueled mission against a matriarch of the dynasty which left him orphaned, deaf, and voiceless.
Mine's Abigail.
The horror thriller Abigail follows a group of kidnappers who abduct the 12-year-old daughter of a powerful underworld figure, only to find out she's actually a vampire.
This is my last chance.
Joel Smallbone of Grammy-winning duo For King and Country stars in his directorial debut, Unsung Hero. The film is based on his family's journey from Australia to America in search for a brighter future. The 1996 disaster thriller Twister, starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, is available on 4K Ultra HD disc and digital for the first time.
The Night Country.
Small screen favorites to own: True Detective Night Country, starring Oscar winner Jodie Foster and Kaylee Reese as detectives solving a murder mystery in Alaska. For music fans, country star Megan Moroney releases her sophomore album, Am I Okay? And Grammy-nominated pop rock band One Republic dropped their new record, Artificial Paradise. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a lion cub entering her new home at a sanctuary in South Africa. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.